the old grandpa
He was
secretly
awesome.
helping her.
Yes.
My favorite line that I I heard that felt like such a you statement was, imagine dropping out of elementary school. He's just like me and Einstein. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello, it is me, Sneezy McPaynes.
No, that's me. If my eyes look watery, it's because for some reason I sneeze like 6 times in a row. It might also be because I've decided to finally continue this massive crochet project that I had sitting in the basement. And it does smell like basement, so I do plan on washing it before I give it to someone on Christmas. But I want to blame astronomical shipping costs. Lo and behold, little old me decided to try and order direct from manufacturer and cut out a middleman so they make money. And instead they just go, what if your shipping cost almost a third of the product? And I had to sit there and go, what if it didn't?
My TikToks, they go all over the place, but there's this trend I've been getting a little bit, and the recent one was, can we get, I forget what it was, but it's just like, almost like if you guys seen the stuff from the 1950s of kitchen setups and just how it was actually helpful of holding everything and setting everything up, like of just how like kitchens were set up, and instead of how it is now where it's just cabinets.
Yeah, it's just stuff that you can lose sight of when it falls behind some hidden drawer. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, can we bring that back? Like, we're not saying that we want all the 1950s stuff back, but can we at least make homes, like, if you guys are going to make it almost impossible to go out, like, at least usable?
I have seen, like, on Zillow, people would be like, oh, this is a weird looking part of the house. I'm like, that's a conversation pit. I want it. Bring back conversation pits. Because, like, I don't know. Living rooms just being giant rectangles where they're like, okay, you put the TV in the middle and chairs all around them. And I'm like, but what if I just wanted to, like, hang out with somebody?
Gross.
Disgusting. And I feel like conversation pits would be perfect for board games. Because you're already sitting in a circle. You just need to bring out your leaflet table and put it together in the middle.
There was a house that I was, very early on, that I was wanting to rent, and then I found out they were trying to sell it, and I was like, maybe if we rent it, they can see that I'm good for it and maybe buy. That never happened. But I just remember going in there, and this is when, like, I was starting, and me and my friends were just starting to get into, like, TTRPGs and stuff. And there was just this room, and, like, at the time, like, this would be awesome. It has all these little shelves on it that, like, we could put minis and all this other stuff over there. There's, like, you go down there and they got another, like, separate little kitchen where it's like there's the snacks, and I'm like, yeah. And then, like, I'm like, man, that'd be cool. And it's almost like a basement, and then there's me, like, sitting at it there now, and I'm like, there's no airflow at all in that area. It was, like, underneath the the thing, and it's just, there weren't any windows or no way to, like, let air in and out. Like, it was a very cool room, but it's like,
it would be stagnant. You'd need to have, like, your own air filter system in there.
And so there's that, and then it's just like, now watching I guess, like, a lot more modern horror movies, like, yeah, it seems like that would be an A24, like, horror murder room.
You get
like,
backed into that room, and all of a sudden the music changes, and you go, this is it.
This is, like, where you go in, and it's just like, oh, this is where the ghost lives, and the cult members summon Paimon, the gluteus.
The gluteus. Hey, as long as they don't just leave you a note in a pillar for you to find eventually in the future, maybe.
Someday. You just gotta go through time multiple times.
Multiple times. A lot of time loops.
Loops upon loops. Yeah, that's right. Ghost Story is what Inception was based on.
For the first time in a little bit, I feel like we don't have an anime that we had that was a lot more straightforward, I guess is what I would say. The morals and the discussion were a lot more grounded compared to some of our previous movies.
Yeah.
Because you said
are you a furry?
We don't yuck yums. They don't put litter boxes in the kids' bathrooms.
I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. Listen to... I don't watch enough news to make a political talk show host. Gif, joke. Tonight's going to be great. Is it a good time to say I've been waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go into work early?
Fun.
Yep. And then like I've been getting in I've only been getting in like 30 minutes early, but it's just like one of the guys like, yeah, it's good. It's like, what you really need to do is come in at a full hour early. And it's like, I understand the mindset, but I'm like, why do you care?
Is he writing your paychecks?
No.
Then no, he shouldn't care.
It's like I never understand why it's just like why people were so concerned about, like, especially if you're not having to do what that person's doing. Like, why do you care when they come in? That's just, if they get the work done and you're not having to cover for them, then why, you as just another employee, why are you stressing out about it?
Yeah, what's it to you?
Yeah. I don't know. If there's a guy that I'm just waiting you to, like, retire. That'd be nice. We don't have to deal with you. But, yeah. So, I thought I had a fun opener, and then I forgot about it.
It's okay. It's a Wednesday evening.
Yeah. I will say, it is funny. I forget. I think I ask you this almost every time we get around this part of the year. Are you a pre-Thanksgiving Christmas music person?
No.
Or you? I didn't think you are.
No.
Yeah. So I work with people who are, and they would play Christmas music in September if they could get away with it. But yeah. So we had the Christmas music on, like so me and the girlfriend, we were talking about going to this mall that we frequent. That's a good middle point for us. And I made the joke. I was like, so maybe when we get there, we'll just have the joy of all the Christmas music. She's like, I'm not ready for Christmas music. It's not Thanksgiving. I'm like, it's going to be playing. And
I was at the mall, I think like a couple of weeks ago. They were already doing photos with Santa. So.
Oh yeah. Oh that.
Yeah.
You're skipping ahead to what I was about to say, but it's all good. Yeah. So, but I told her, I'm like, no, I've been hearing Christmas music for the past 2 weeks, but for me, I'm like at the point where I'm like, I have my headphones. I'm not listening to the Christmas music, but I am the type of person that just gets. It sparks joy to know that there's grown adult men that will go and cry to the other adult men for playing Christmas music and then say, you ruined my Christmas because you played Christmas music too early. And to me, I find that hilarious. And so I encourage the Christmas music.
If that's your line of what ruined Christmas, I think your Christmas was already ruined and you wanted to blame somebody else. Mm-hmm. That reminds me, I did see, not to interrupt your story, but it's related. I did see a TikTok. It was a bunch, like, two guys that were going back and forth about, like, if you're fighting a fan of X musician, this is how you beat them in a fight. And the last one was, if you're fighting a fan of Nickelback, you gotta just surprise them. You say, hey, your kids aren't coming home for Christmas, and they have a 1,000-yard stare.
Can you take me? I don't even know that's a Nickelback song. That's Creed.
Take a look at this photograph.
Yeah. Take a look at this photograph. You're never gonna see your kids again.
Good old divorced dad rock.
I saw this other TikTok, mainly because of Creed, where it's just this dad playing dolls with his daughter, and it's just like, Ken, will you get off the ceiling? You gotta take care of the kids. And the dad's just holding the kids like, can you take me higher? and then he comes down, and then apparently his daughter runs over the babysitter with a car. Like all like Barbie dolls.
Oh, pretend.
Things. Yes, not like actual like show.
Have
but
you seen? Oh, I don't think you have, but it's on Netflix.
Not.
The Netflix short comedy special with, I think it's Tim Robinson.
No,
you've seen.
I don't have Netflix.
He's all over Netflix, like his bits and clips and stuff. But he had one skit that was like, he was, I think, late to a party, and his significant other was just like, just say that we're late, and they're like, no, we need a good excuse, and their partner was like, hey guys, sorry we're late, and then Tim Robinson comes in, I ran over somebody on the way here, and everybody's like, do we need to call the police? He's like, no, they were a nobody. And he's like, what do you mean they like, he kept escalating the lie. So when you said, yeah, and then apparently she ran over the babysitter, I imagine them doing the whole skit like, we gotta call the cops. No, she doesn't matter. She's not important.
I'll have to see if I can find it. I don't think I liked it, but it did make me laugh. I don't know. My main TikToks that I like are food related, my friends, and then when a farmer comes up and is like, let me tell you how this actually works. Especially when they tell it to people overseas that are like, you Americans, you're so dumb. It's like, well, let's sit down, child, as I tell you what an actual farmer was. That's what I was liking today.
I saw the one about eggs. Is that the one you saw? That was very educational and very fun.
I like that guy. I have no clue who he is. I found out who he was. Well, I was watching this stuff today of just like eggs and like why we wash our eggs in America and like why we refrigerate them. Mm-hmm. And then he had another one. Oh, it was about like the health, like the quality. I think it was like the health of food and all that. And it was interesting because like, I think we hear a lot of like the negative side, and he was like, no, there definitely is a lot of stuff that isn't great. But what America really is good at, like one of the things that they're really good at is this, like trying to make sure things are good, like these kind of big overarching. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, but like he's like, yeah, these small, like he kind of attributed to like the medical fields, like these small little, like kind of small things that just like kind of go in there, but it's like we're really good at brain surgery and all that stuff, and that's like the same thing with our food safety. It's like,
yeah, a guy wrote a book one time, and they went, oh god, this is disgusting, and then they were like, maybe we should monitor how food's made. I have not read The Jungle. I don't know if I ever will.
I don't know. Don't know if I never heard of it. I did read about.
That's the start of the FDA.
Oh.
Because I think it's Upton Sinclair wrote a book about how bad the meat packaging plants were, and I should know what president it is, but the president at the time read it and went, oh my god, this is what I'm eating. So then he established the FDA. Or is it maybe not the FDA? Maybe it was, but you know what I mean. Like it branched.
The FBI.
But it branched off into a bunch of like health and regulatory services to make sure that we were not just scooping food off the floor and calling it sausage. I'm looking at you, Boar's Head plant in Virginia.
I'm glad you finished the sentence because my brain said, I'm looking at you and was like, I don't scoop food off the floor.
No, the closed plant that had the deli meat listeria outbreak, I believe. I didn't read it, but people told me that it was just as bad as all that gross stuff.
Yeah, I had the fun thing where I'm just like, not Aldi. Audible was like, hey, you have all these credits, you should use them. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to use them on. And I was like, oh wait, Storygraph has recommendations, because I'm like, I don't necessarily enjoy the TikTok like, here's our book talk blah blah blahs. And so I did that. I'm like, oh cool. And then like I bought like all of them, and I'm like, some of these sound really familiar. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I finished the one. I started and finished the one. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me go review. Hop read this.
I was going to say, you could just ask me for book recommendations.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was just like spur of the moment where I'm just like, bop, 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 bop. But I read All Systems Red.
Oh, it's very silly. Very fun.
Yes, it was very fun. I enjoyed it. I was like, I voted it mainly because I was like, the other thing was like, I need to get some a few more things in for before the end of the year. But did that, and then I'm reading this one book. I think it's called Soho. Oh, I know that's not right. It's interesting, but I'm not finished it yet. Where is it? There it is. Saha. Which Saha pretty much is, I guess it's not Amazon, but it's just like this corporation pretty much bought this island, kicked all the locals off, and then made it's like we made it our own sovereign state where there's no regulations, and then pretty much it's they just call it town, but then Saha is like pretty much the people who are not citizens of town, and they're not because there's only two classifications. There's L's and L2s, and if you're L2, you're not an L, which is like the citizen that gets all the rights and everything. And then you live in Saha, or Soha, whatever it's called, which is this apartment complex that's just been taken over by all the like riffraff, and it just, if you have no future, you go there, and the story takes place of like everyone that lives in there, and there's like an overarching story, and it's just like life sucks. but I've been reading that, and then what was because there was another one, because I was just like and then I got Three Body Problem, because I heard decent things about that.
Big book.
And then the last one was like, oh, this looks interesting, I'll read this. And then I like, as I clicked over to it after I bought it, I looked over and was like, oh. I'm like, that's why that sounds so familiar, because you also read it. Vampires of El Norte.
Oh, I do like that one a lot. That one's it gets advertised as horror a lot. I'd say it leans more into like historical fiction and romance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was just like, we'll give it a shot. But well, now it's too late. I bought it, so
I like that author a lot. I like the way that she mixes in Mexican American histories and all the bad things that the good old colonizers do, mixed in with a little bit of magical realism.
Mm-hmm.
She has one other book that I also liked, the Hacienda. That one's more of a gothic fiction where it's like, creepy house. Why house so creepy?
'Cause it's metal. But to finish my story about the mall, Kristen music was playing, we're all good, and then we're just walking around there, and I'm just like, we just kept seeing the signs, hey, pictures with Santa, and she's like, yeah, the girlfriend was just like, yeah, it's just kind of creepy, just like thinking about the Santas and all that stuff. Like, I don't think the Santas are for people our age to take pictures with. And I'm be more concerned with the fact that how many times has that Santa been peed on?
Look, hopefully the kids at least have diapers on.
Yeah, but anyway, all that going on, we were on the second floor, Santa's on the first floor, and we looked down, and this Santa looked like he was hitting the bottle, man. He was just like, it's been a long day of no one coming in on a Wednesday.
Oh, on a Wednesday for sure.
Sorry, today's Wednesday. On a Tuesday.
Even same energy.
Yes. And so you just think, dude, Christmas season hasn't even started, you look tired. But speaking about getting tired and being annoyed at kids, hey, let's talk about wolf children.
Oh, what a segue.
Yep.
So
kids be wolfing.
Kids be wolfing. Wolfing be kidding.
Yeah. Welcome to our new mixtape.
Are you ready to roll some dice to see who gives a little synopsis?
Yeah.
And if this is the first time that you've been here, we've ranted a little bit more in the beginning than we usually do, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is roll some dice. Whoever rolls the lowest on a D8 gets to do a little quick synopsis of the movie that we watched, which, again, Wolf Children. D8 because we had 8 episodes, and lowest because we thought it'd be silly, fun, goofy time. Mine fell off the desk. Let me re-roll. And then after that, we'll go into some questions. kind of like rating and ranking things about the movie and different things, and then spoiler zone. So for now,
Yes.
spoiler free.
Welcome to the Spoiler Zone, brought to you by ESPN. I don't watch ESPN.
I don't either. Sports.
Yeah, the
but-
most ESPN I see is when they force it, that and ballroom sports or whatever, ball pub, whatever on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't want to see this stuff that you just are getting money from other people's work.
Reposting.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But
I skip them. I wish if I knew how to block them, I would.
But yeah, you're free from spoilers for now. You haven't entered spoiler zone yet. You have some
Yes.
time before we have to turn around if you want to watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't yet.
If we put more thought into the podcast more than, hey, what do we want to do next year, we might come up with a silly little sting that's just like spoiler zone. Choo! But it's not that. What did you roll? Because I can guarantee, unless for some reason we tied, you're giving the synopsis.
I rolled a 2.
Well, multiply yours by 4 and you got mine.
You maxed out the dice.
16, baby.
Hold on. What dice did we roll?
32.
Alright. So the quick synopsis I have for Wolf Children is where do I start? Basically, you follow the perspective of the character Hana as she kind of finds her first love and tries to start a family, and ultimately how she tries to survive as a single mother to very peculiar children. And it's a very... I saw the comments on the site that I sent you to watch it. People were like, oh, it's so heartwarming and cozy. And I was like, am I too old? Because at the end, I was so sad and had to lay there for a little bit to, recollect myself. It's not action-packed.
Yes, I could see how some people could think it's cozy. But I think overall it is a sad story.
It's got more sad than cozy in it. I think the colors, the art style, the pacing of the story is very cozy. Because this is probably the slowest paced movie we've watched so far, too. And
it's also the longest, I think.
By like a half hour. It's not like us going and watching a 6-hour film after watching 90-minute films, but
that could happen with next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm bracing myself for.
It's still early enough for us to change our mind. We could do the thing I always say: just watch Twin Peaks.
But yeah, I think that's about the main things, and then I'll just say, I hope there are content warnings for this in places, but there is death. There, I guess I could say, very light on like animal cruelty. I'm trying to think of other major warnings. I think, yeah. And then I would say if you have strained relationships with your sibling and or parents, then it could also be a tough watch. Mm-hmm. You have been warned. But mainly the themes are about coming through on tough times, figuring your shit out, and learning to
what Twilight wanted to
be. And then learning to let go, I think, is the biggest theme.
Yes, I would agree. Especially with that last one.
Yeah. Okay. You ready to discuss questions?
Sure. How much does this fit with the winter season?
It's the most wintry movie, and there's even a Christmas. There's a Christmas sign in one scene.
They got Christmas trees.
Yeah, but one of the times when she's waiting for him outside of their usual meetup spot, the translations I had on my Blu-ray DVD were like, pre-order your Christmas cake. So you were like, we'll see if there's snow, and I was like, guaranteed, I've seen this movie. There's definitely snow. I couldn't remember if there was specifically Christmas, but...
Yeah, we had the fun thing where I messaged Top earlier today. I'm like, this movie isn't anywhere I can watch. And
I found the hookup.
Yeah, we won't go too far into that, but I did watch it. But it wasn't like the place is like it's on Amazon, and it's like it's on Amazon. I just can't watch it here.
Not in your region.
Yeah. But
thank goodness I don't remember when I bought it on Blu-ray. I haven't bought physical media since maybe college, so I guess I bought it. Because when did this release?
I have it right here, 2012.
Okay, yeah, so I could have bought it in college. It's a very beautiful movie.
I
was newer.
I was thinking about picking it up. Like if it goes on sale, just like, I wouldn't mind owning this. But
yes, A+ winter season, baby. There are other seasons, but I feel like a lot of the cruxes of the story happen to be winter multiple times.
Yeah, it feels like the other seasons are there, but it's more showing the passage of time, which is very important in this movie. The like
big story beats are
are in winter and like kind of spring. There are no summer vacations. Did you root for the characters?
Yes. This is one of the few that like I don't have like if, ands, or buts. Like I did not. I don't know. I think the first time I watched this, I think I probably related more to the daughter. So I think when I was younger and first watched this, I was rooting for her to figure out her way in life. And now being the old fart that I am, I related to the stinking mom. So I was like, it's okay. It'll be okay. Like the whole movie. Like like as much as I wish the son didn't choose to say the things he did, I still rooted for him to find his way.
Oh yeah, it's. I'll wait for when we get to the spoiler talk because I'm just like, there's something I think would have been pretty neat, but it be what it be.
Okay. So I'd give this one, I guess I would give it an A, where, you know, that, I don't know, like, this doesn't necessarily feel like rooting for, at least not in the same way that, say, like, The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. Like, that one, I was like, everybody has, like, clear and distinct, like, short-term motives that I can root for. Wolf Children is much more like,
you're rooting for this family to work.
Yeah, like, for them to find what works for them. So I think, so I guess I'll go A, because sometimes they make choices and I go, you're 12, you're 10, I get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would also give it an A, because it's just, like, I could see, especially as you were saying, like, depending on, I think, how old you are, and when you watch this movie, you would probably like vote like I'm here for Yuki or Ami, however you pronounce their names. But then it's just like, I don't know. For me, I'm just like I would agree. I'm like, I'm feeling for Hana. I'm just like,
she's done so much. She's done so much.
It's just like you can do this, girl. But yeah, no, I would also give that an A. What would you grade the plot? Let's see. You've been answering first for a while, so I think for me, I enjoyed the story. Like, as I said, I was telling Hop a little bit earlier at the beginning, like, I was just like, what am I watching?
What did Hop sign us up for?
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
Hop said she's watched this. Why is she making me go through this?
I didn't remember you saying that you watched this until after we talked afterwards, but I'm just like, we'll just see where it goes, and then I'm glad I saw where it went. And so I would say, yeah, I would also, like, as a winter like Christmas movie, probably not the best for the plot, but I think this, I enjoyed the plot. I followed the storyline once I got past the first 20 minutes where I was like, I thought I was watching for an hour, it didn't feel like an hour. Like the rest of the time.
The pacing, yeah.
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 So I would give, for me personally, I think I would give it, I'll give it an A.
Yeah, I think I land towards an A because I forgot. I don't know. When I last watched the movie, I really do think of like the meat of the movie. The whole beginning is a little like, it's like really snappy where it's like you blink and it's like another like 6 months have passed and you're like, wait, what's going on?
You can blink in 3 years pass.
Depending on. Yeah, so.
But I liked, well, I'm pretty sure we'll get into it, but I did like that. Like, just.
It is a nice way to introduce you without, like
3 years later.
I hate when movies do the, remember when? And then they do the whole monologue. So it at least removes that aspect to it so you can really take your time with the characters.
You just have the monologue throughout the whole movie.
So I think for me personally, I'd also give it an A. I think this movie watches like a really good like family saga book, and those are kind of like my favorite books. This one isn't quite like generational like some of the ones that I like, but it has that same feeling of you're with a certain set of characters, and at the same time like years are flying by, but it also feels kind of like you're not rushing through any of them. Like you're getting the glances of like pivotal life moments so you can understand who they've become by the end of it, and you're just like, I saw this I could see this coming in the last half hour, but I was hoping you'd be more mature, but all right, kid. So
no, I gotta go to my sensei.
So yeah,
my
so
sensei is sensei. Okay.
I assumed he was hanging out at your dad's house. I haven't seen him. Uh-oh. No, but it's so like well written because I think it wanted to be a study of like people and family structures and the strains of relationships, and it made sure to focus on all that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen other movies that are like, this is a gripping family drama, and then all they do is yell at each other. And I'm like, I know some families are like that, but this doesn't give me any context of what's happening.
Yeah. And then they just like murder a whole family because they said that they smell poor. I don't know. Do you want to guess what I'm referencing? I'm trying
to think. Is it Texas Chainsaw?
No.
It's not far off.
I can't remember if we watched. I think we watched it for a thing. I was thinking Parasite.
Oh, we haven't watched it yet for a thing.
Oh,
We've
I know
watched
I watched
it individually. Because I watched it in theaters.
Yeah, and that's like... we fired you because the car smells poor now. It's not they say the car smells because the guy's professional driver can't, like, that's where he lives, just can't have good ventilation, but it's still like, you smell poor.
That could have been you in your basement house.
My basement house.
The one that you said it had a cool room with the ventilation.
Oh,
was
yes.
like,
I could have smelled poor, but I could have just owned a house. How likely would you recommend this movie to others?
Yes.
I think so. Like I also think I think it might be tough. Like I think the beginning might be hard for some people to get over if they don't watch anime or they're just like not into that kind of story. But it's like, I think if a little bit of like explanation can help, but no, I do think, because I was like halfway through it and I texted the girlfriend and was like, I think you'd really like this movie. And she was like, why is that? And I'm like, I'm watching it. Hold up.
We'll explain it a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie doesn't have to come with too many like crutches. Like I don't have to like tiptoe around someone and make sure that they would like this movie. Because even if like, I don't know, even if someone I met was like, oh, weird, blah, 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 I feel like once the movie actually kicks on, like, I think it's easy to kind of just, like, forget about that one scene that's just like, hey, yo, big reveal, hey, yo, still revealed. But I think just, like, the writing and the art and the music and the plot points are good enough that like, is it as accessible as, like, a Ghibli? I don't think so. But I think it's the most accessible out of what we've watched so far.
Yeah, like, I do think it's pretty, like, it's just, because, like, I don't think I did any research. I don't think I read anything on any of these movies, except it's, like, it's on a list for Christmas, and I think there's snow in it. We've been about half right so far. I think this is the halfway. I think it's the halfway point,
give or take. But I do think
out.
that I think if I recommended someone to watch this, it would not be something to watch in the summer. I would say either watch it during a rainy spring day or, like, when it first gets cold.
Yeah.
Like, not Christmas, like you said earlier, but, like,
I think this is a good time to watch it right around Thanksgiving, like, as like the sun's going down a little bit later, or maybe like a March.
Yeah. Where the daylight savings is ruining everybody's schedules, one way or the other.
Yeah, just take your pick. But yeah. But no, I think I would give, like, for me personally, it sounds like you would give it an A+ to recommend.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I have a lot of friends that don't watch anime, and so that would be, like, already the big hurdle to get over. Like, on stream, I'd be like, yeah, no, check it out. But I think with people in person, I think it would be, the barrier to entry would be a little bit higher. So I think, like, a B+. Like, I think I would still tell people, check it out. It's a good story. Just get past the first, like, once you get past, like, the first 10 minutes, and you're just like, okay. So there's just that one shock scene, which you told, where the wolf children are made.
Spoiler. But I guess that's a good transition into spoiler zone.
Yeah,
we got our timer
zone.
set up.
Yeah, I gotta turn my phone back on.
All right,
I guess I should also say, with what I just said, there is no graphic sex
it's a very
stuff.
T-rated movie.
You see some shoulders.
There's the implications, and you get, like, a little bit of maybe some side boob, maybe a little bit more graphic, but that's because the baby's eaten.
I was like, there is? And then
when she talks about the second kid not latching on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm like...
Non-sexual side boob.
I was like, I didn't remember that. But, but I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1.
If you don't want spoilers...
Oh.
If you don't want spoilers, turn back now.
Yeah, because we're in the spoiler zone. We're 10 seconds into the spoiler zone.
All right. So what is it that you said that you wished it would have gone a different way?
I don't know. It's not that I wish it would have gone a different way. I think that's not what I wasn't saying. I think I was expecting, which, looking at it, this isn't Hana's character, because she's very much, like, free spirit with her kids and everything. But it's like, as Ame's the younger one, right?
The boy, yeah.
Yeah. As he's like, I'm going to go be a wolf now. And it's like, I was kind of half, like, where she's just like, no, like, and she kind of has the vision of, I don't know, the dude's, her husband's.
I forget his name right now, but when she was, like, dead for a minute.
Yeah. When he's just like, no, he's an adult now. Like, he's found his way in life. And she's like, go live your life. But I was like, I don't know. I guess I was also just kind of, like, expecting, like, hey, like, could you at least say hi every once in a while? I'm going to be staying where I am. Like, yeah, you don't have to be human.
You know where I live. Can you, like, stop it in a little bit?
Yeah, just let me know that you're doing well. Like, I don't know how they would say. Like, I think the way it ended was good. Like, I liked it, but I'm just like, I don't know. I could also see, like, that being a line a mom would say. It's just like at the end where she's just like she's still struggling with all that, but it's just like
Yeah, I thought it was like so like I think I understand what you're saying, but I think it was beautifully poetic where she has the moment where she's like, I know I said I wanted them to have the option. I just didn't realize how much it would suck that they pick this option.
yeah.
So I imagine that she's probably still like figuring out how she feels about it. Whereas like I feel like normal moms, when you send a kid out to college, you're like, at least call every once in a while.
Yeah.
But she's not really getting the you're going to college experience. She's getting the I may never see my son again experience. A different level of grief.
Yeah. So that's what I'm like, I don't know. I was expecting something like that where it's just like after having like talking with her dad. I don't even know if they're married. I don't think they are, but it's like
yeah, because they had to hide a lot from officials, which makes sense.
Yeah. But I was like expecting like her to be like, which I am glad that she wasn't like, even after all that, she's like, okay, live your life, go. Like just like, no, I still want you here. And it wasn't until like the how that she was just like,
he's happier like this.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and like, I also like the fact that when she's like, yeah, like when Yuki's just like, yeah, mom still lives up there, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it doesn't give like a scene of Ame just like being there. Like he's just like, I don't like humans, and just like my sensei, and someone has to go fill the role that he did.
Yeah, I do like I think I have a guess of who your favorite character was.
Okay.
Kind of along the lines of like him like hating humans. The old grandpa
he was
secretly
awesome.
helping her.
Yes.
I do. My favorite line that I I heard that felt like such a you statement was, imagine dropping out of elementary school. He's just like me and Einstein.
That's what I want to be. Like this movie, it really wanted me to go get a rural house in Japan, fix it up, and
we have talked about it.
I know.
She made it look so easy.
Yeah. Well, she also had like
she had the community help.
Yeah. I don't know. I could definitely see how people were like could focus on Yuki's story or Ame's story, but I'm like, no, I love Hana's story where it's just like she doesn't know what she's doing and everyone thinks she's just being antisocial and doesn't want to talk, but she's doing it all to like protect her kids, because like there's that early scene when Yuki eats the silicone packet or whatever it was.
Yeah, the ones in packaging, the desiccant or yeah.
And then she like runs up and she's like, do I take you to the vet or to the pediatrician? Yeah. And she's like looking back and forth, and then she's just across the street calls both of them, and it's just like the one's like, we'll let you know, and the other one's like, are they hungry? And then she just looks down and Yuki's just like burping like, Mom, I'm hungry, and she's like, I think we're good now.
Yeah, that like panic of like, because she's left alone, unable to figure out how to raise these kids. But it is like, I like that moment a lot. And then I felt so bad when the officials are like, I heard your kids are unvaccinated. And she's like, please leave, because they're napping as puppies. And they're like, we have to see the kids to make sure they're healthy, or we're going to take them away from you. Also, we heard you had pets. And she's just like, I can't raise them here. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised she got away. I'm like, because
they don't have birth certificates. She didn't go to the hospital.
Yeah, like I did like all the it's not focused on, because I could see how like a different movie would be focused on how do I literally birth fur babies, like how do I do this, and like
it was just like it's an allegory of being isolated as a parent.
Yeah, and just and as sad as it is, like I'm glad it wasn't like I'm looking at the IMDb and it looks Okami Otoko, I think his name is I don't know if I click on it if it will show him, but yeah, his name is that makes sense, Okami. But anyway, I'm glad it wasn't like he went to go get milk and didn't come back. It's like it shows that because early on, like that when Hana's pregnant with Yuki, it's like he comes back with like a pheasant, or I forget what kind of bird it is.
Yeah, it is like it's very bright colored, but
yeah,
looks like something that like bird hunters like to go after.
And so, and like you see the feathers and everything on him, and just like he makes the food for her and everything, and then it's like we don't know where he went, and then just like you see him in the canal, and it's just like them, and it's just the whole thing is just like, oh, we got to get rid of this dog, and it's like they just put him in a trash truck and take him away, and everyone's like, why is this lady freaking out?
Yeah, they're like, hey, have an umbrella, it's raining, ma'am. And she's just like, can I just and they're like, why would you want that?
Yeah, I think one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is the silent scenes. It's
very like it's like some things we've complimented the A24 films with, where it's like you're just sitting there and you're watching this, and you know that the characters probably have like they're under so much stress they probably don't hear anything, and they're just like reacting in the moment. And as the viewer, to also have no music, no sound, no voices, and you're just watching them like be animated that they're in distress. It's like, I feel so bad. Yeah, I feel terrible.
I think the only thing they have is rain in that scene, and then like just the sounds of the truck. Like it's all just sound effects, and you're just like, I don't know. It was like those scenes, it was so simple. Of like it wasn't like this overly detailed set piece. Like it was just like this simple things where it's just like, okay, you know which one Hana is, you know like like who everyone is just by like what gray blob their clothes are and everything, and then it's just like, and like without like her just being like, can I, and you're like, no. Please back up. No. Oh, okay. And they kind of do that as well with earlier on when they're like dating, and
there's a lot of like quiet scenes. I checked my subtitles and audio a few times to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite, like, I guess, because there's like different
chapters.
There's like chapters. Yeah. Like which one? What were your favorite chapters?
I think one of my favorites is when she first gets the house, the big house.
Yes.
Because between the guy going like, yeah, it kind of sucks to live here, and she's like, perfect, it's massive, there's no neighbors, it's quiet, there's so much land.
The big yard, yeah.
Yeah, and then in that same breath, as soon as he walks away, Yuki just she goes for it. She fucking goes. She's like, there's snakes, there's butterflies, there's rabbits, and she just starts going after everything.
Yes, and just like, wow. Just screaming her head off, just running around. And
the other chapter I like a lot, I guess it's kind of in the same chapter, but her trying to convince her mom to let her go to school. Where her mom is like hanging out with the neighbors that she finally built a community with and is trying to learn from to be able to survive in this like completely different lifestyle, and Yuki's in dog form, and her mom's like, yes. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, did you get a dog? Oh, it's cute, you and the dog have matching clothes, and her mom's like, Jesus Christ, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna beating this kid as soon as you all leave. She doesn't. That's not part of the thing.
That's a Payne-ism. But yeah, I just like that whole chapter, because I think the other thing I like about that a lot too is kind of, I think that's like the last glimpse of childhood you really get to see of Ame and Yuki, because they both kind of end up choosing their paths like right afterwards. So it's kind of like seeing them as they are. And I think that's right before the chapter with the snow and everything too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's it does. There's a little bit of it because it shows Yuki adjusting to humans, because
Learning to be in school and get
Yeah.
along and force herself to fit in.
yeah, and just like the adjustment to that, and then where Ame just gets like all this like
Negative imagery.
negative imagery, but it gets a lot of like he already is pretty much attached to the hip to Hana, but this is just like brought even more on, and then that's when they go to the nature reserve, and because they learn that they have a wolf there,
Ugh,
and he's like,
sad.
yeah, and he's just like, and then it just like it's a quick like snippet of him like in his like half human half wolf form, and he's just like, buddy, you say anything? And then it's like, no, he's just a captive, like he doesn't.
He's never been in the wild.
Yeah, and then it's shortly after that, I think it does that's after the scenes, when it does the like kind of time loop where it shows Yuki like in first grade, and then she goes to second grade as
He's getting bullied.
yeah, he's bullied, and she sticks up for him and then walks away like, oh, I don't feel like dealing with this, and then like she's Miss Popular with everybody, and he's like the loner in the back, and then just she's in fourth grade, and he's supposed to be in third, and he's not there. And that's when they go to the nature reserve, and I think it's shortly after that when we learn about. Is it fourth grade? No, or is it higher up? I can't remember.
I think she's in like. I think fourth grade is about right, because I think the movie.
I think it does another time jump, right?
She's in sixth grade during the storm.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like the end of the movie.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But yeah, but that's when I think it's shortly after that. I think that's when the snow comes in, because they're still like at that age, and that's when he falls into the river, and then after that, I think that's when they
get really far apart. Yeah.
Yeah, because Yuki's like she is the narrator throughout all this, and she
basically
mentions
it's like a letter back to Ame. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ame talks about like that's when it's just like he changed after that day, because that's when he's like, I hunted and I wasn't afraid, and if it wasn't for this stupid scarf, I would have been fine.
Stinking human clothes.
Yeah, which and then it's like after that it's summerish, and that's when he's like, I'm gonna go see my sensei.
Yeah, and then tensions start to rise between the kids.
What
was your favorite chapter?
I did really like the house cleanup, but I think like I really liked. I would say this is all in the same thing, where she's like fixing up, and then just how the community comes around, and it's just like helps her out. It starts off with the old man that's just like, "What are you doing?" and just like comes by and just is like, "Do this."
In the most harsh of terms.
Yeah, just do this, and she's just like, okay, and then just like, okay, when you're done that, do it again up there, make another plot of land. She's like, I only need the one. And so like, are you gonna listen to me? And it's
yes,
like,
sir.
it's like, okay, and then it almost, the way it's shot, it almost feels like it was one whole day, but I'm assuming it's maybe
for her back, it was more than one day.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, it could have been like a whole week or something like that. And then it's just like the next day, because then he tells her like, all right, cut these potatoes in half, put them in there, water them once a week or something like that. Or no, don't water them, they'll be fine. And then it's just like he leaves. And then the other two old men come up and they're just like, hey, Anna, come with us. Yeah. And then
we're gonna go shopping.
Yeah, and they're just these two old men are just arguing. He's like, no, you need this, and she's just like, you guys aren't helping, but whatever. And then just how like from there, like the community starts just coming in and helping her, and it's just I think it's the old man's wife who's there, who's just like comes over and it's just like,
I think it's his daughter.
is it his daughter? Okay, I
Because she's
missed
like,
one.
she's like, don't listen to the old man or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, she's all like helping him out, and then I think it's his daughter that throws up the line. It's just like, no, like he acts all tough, but he's also the one that's nonstop talking about you guys, and also like pretty much was telling everyone go help him.
Yeah, I think they bring a fridge because they get their first harvest. They're like, what are we going to do with all this food?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we just had this sitting in a shed. We weren't using it. She's like, this is massive for a freezer or a fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, old man told you to help out. And the other guy's like, shh, you're not supposed to tell. That was secret.
Yeah, it's like, and the guy's like, whatever. Besides, if we bring it back, we're getting yelled at and all that stuff. It's like, you're going to take it. And I also like that scene where she's like, she goes back to thank everyone. It's like, we have so many potatoes. And it's not a focus, and it's just like, yeah, boar's gotten to all our food. It's weird. And then I think they're over there and they're talking about, I think it's before that or after that, they're talking about how like Hana's garden is so like was not affected, and everyone's like, I wonder what's up with this mountain. And Yuki just runs by, pee, because the
smell, yeah,
they're just keeping all the wildlife away. And so
yeah, but there's also, I like the lecture that our mom gave her too, though, where she's like, you can be a wolf all you want, but you don't get to pretend you're better than other animals. Mm-hmm. And Yuki's like, I chased a wild boar today, and he was scared. She's like, what did I tell you? Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, it did kind of help with the farm, because none of the wild boars want to mess around with a wolf.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was my favorite thing of just, my favorite scene of just...
seeing like her get established and everything.
It was, I'm like, okay, because I could see how it's just like it continue. I like how this movie, it wasn't just negative and like we're just gonna pile on, which I do like those movies. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like the movies where it's just like we're gonna pile on the bad.
I feel like this makes it so much sadder, though, because you're like, oh, yeah, this is the cozy part of the movie, and they're getting along, and they're, like, finally making strides, and they're finally, like, don't have to hide who they are. And then all of a sudden, the kids are fighting.
So this wasn't your first watch. This was my first watch. And I was wondering if there was going to be a scene where, like, when they, like, pretty much, I think they ask Hana, was just like, why don't you take the kids down to the daycare center or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, so she could work in the city or whatever. Yeah.
And like she doesn't answer it, and I was curious if it was going to go the route where she was going to, because like at that point she's built up the connections and the friendships and like is like a trusted member and well loved member of that community, like her and like all her kids. And it's just like I was wondering if she was going to reveal, like, this is why I'm hiding up here. And it's like it became like the town coming together, be like, okay, what can we do? Which I could see that being an interesting take, but I also I'm not saying that should have been the way it goes, because I really like how the movie went. Of just
that would have. I feel like it would have been a completely different movie.
It would have. It would have been a different movie. Because like in my mind, I'm like, so those city officials just left? Like, just, there's no, like, mention of them again or anything. And it's just like, in my mind, with all the information that was presented, I could see, like, the government just doing their job of, like, why are these kids not in our system? Why don't they have XYZ shots and everything? And it's
I don't know how Japan's like child services. I don't know how strict they are.
Yeah, this is especially when does it give a time period of when this was? Because it had to be. I don't think
there's an exact time period, but like the college looks pretty modern. Mm-hmm. Their apartments look pretty modern. I don't know if there were no cell phones only because she couldn't afford one.
They had payphones, but I think they have payphones still in Japan.
Yeah. Like, if I had to take a guess. But, like, their outfits weren't particularly dated either.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a very ambiguous.
Yeah. So, I could see it being like, I don't know, 90s or something.
Yeah, I could see it being like late 80s, mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Easier to hide from people then.
Yeah, which it could be. So, like, and as I said, like, what I was saying is, like, not that I think it would have made a better movie. It would have made a different movie. But, like, we wouldn't have gotten the message of, or, like, the theme of, like, the kids trying to figure out
who they want to be.
Who they want to be, and then also the overarching story of Hana accepting their decisions even if she doesn't, like, pretty much what I feel like a lot of parents go through.
Mm-hmm. She just had to do it for a 10-year-old, and like,
who's an adult.
Yeah, she's like, I know for wolves you're full grown, but you're still a kid. And, you know, they'd be like, well, he's not a normal kid.
Yeah. Because, like, Ame, like, at that point, just compared to Yuki, it just feels older, even though he's younger.
Yeah, he's completely jaded, and he also, like, built up all the instincts to be able to, like, do everything on his own, because he was convinced that he would learn more outside of school, because he's learning survival techniques, which is useful, but Yuki was like, I don't want to live in the woods, why am I going to learn all of this? And then big fight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was another time we were expecting that was going to be, like, the first time Hana yelled at her kids, and it's like, she's like...
She does, kind of.
A little bit, but it's, like... It's still, like, passive in a way.
I mean, she can't get in the way of their fight.
Yes.
She would she would get her throat torn out.
There was multiple times where I'm like, I could see where there could be a different way this scene could have gone, and it would have been a different movie. Like, for example, like, in that fight, I could see, like, them accidentally hurting Hana. And that... You could still get everything that they were going for, where, like, Ame could have gone more into the wild side, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think we would have gotten the ending where Hana has to be accepting of that, and where Yuki could go in there. I was also expecting Sohei. Is that the name of the transfer student?
Yeah, the transfer student. He was such a nice little bully kid.
Yeah.
for a little stinker.
I was half expecting him to be like, when he's like, you smell like you have a dog, and or like, you smell like whatever he says, and she gets all like,
you smell like an animal.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to say. Is he a wolf kid?
That would have been a cool twist.
Yeah.
But I also think it was very sweet that even as a human, he was just like, oh, I lied for your sake this whole time. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I knew. And that's like, yeah, from a third person's perspective, I don't know how you couldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
And then, like, he has his own sad story, but it's just like, no, we have already enough. We hit the sad quota and went over it. We don't have time for your normal human sad story.
No. They had their trauma bond moment.
Yeah. So... But, yeah, it was just, I didn't keep notes for this, so I'm just going.
You watched it today, so.
Yeah.
How much time is left on the timer?
I think we got like 6 minutes.
Okay. Because I just looked at the time and I was like, oh, he's late.
Yeah, 4. We got like 4 minutes. I don't know. Was there anything else that we could think of that we wanted to bring up? Like, as you said, like, this is a little bit more straightforward, and
it's just, yeah, like, the scenery, I'll just say, like, I'll ask, what was your favorite, like, wide shot? I don't know, the mountains were so pretty, but also, like, them running down the mountain was so pretty.
Yeah.
But then also, like, this meeting the sensei was so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did really like the fox, like, that wide shot. That was fun. I thought the action piece of the, of them, like, the first person running down the snow. Mm-hmm. But I think the one that stands out the most, and I liked the most, is their house at the end when the monsoon's coming in, and it just shows all the rain pouring off of it, and just like we saw the house at the beginning where it was just constant
leaking, yeah,
and now like we get like these candid inside shots of just them, like nobody's in there, but it's just like it's peaceful inside, it's warm and cozy, we have the rain kind of going off, which something real quick that it reminded me, it was like I also liked how Ame is just like, he looks outside at the end, he's just like, Yuki, you should stay home.
She's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It's like, whatever, loser.
He already admitted he can tell the weather.
Yep. And then it's like, as soon as he said that, it's like, all right, well, we know what's happening.
Monsoon season.
But yeah, it's that whole thing. And I also like how agitated Ame's getting when they're like putting up the slides, the covers for the windows and everything. And Hana's like, I'm about to be blown away. And Ame's just like, I shouldn't be here.
I should be checking on Sensei.
Yeah.
Well, and then there is also the whole talk about like conservation efforts too, because, you know, he's talking about how the rains are affecting all of the wildlife around him. And he's like, I want to help protect these people that like look out for me. And Hana's like, cool. The house is falling apart. Can we like, can we do this first?
Sorry. What was your favorite wide shot? And then there was, it did remind me of something else that
I think the other ones that I really liked, like all of those are really good, and the one you brought up is really good. I also really liked the slow reveals of like the hidden gems of the house. When she's like, she cleans the sink, and the sink has the beautiful laid-in work that you couldn't see before, and like those little moments, and like how all the windows actually had patterns and like reflected beautiful like rainbows when the sun hit them right. I thought those were all really satisfying.
Yeah, that was also very nice. Like there was some love that went into this animation. With the, let's see, okay, we got a minute left. So when you mentioned the conservation stuff, I was wondering if Ame, which once again he wouldn't be in his wolf form for this and like accepting his wolf side, but I was wondering like if him seeing like the wolf that was caged up and everything, and hit all his visits with his mom working at the conservation center down there, if he was gonna be a conservationist and work there, and it's just like, yeah, by day he like tries to protect the forest and the lands by through bureaucracy and all that, but then at night he's like doing the animal side. Yeah. Well, not like nature Batman, but it's just like whatever. But it's one of those things where I like how it doesn't make clear what the fox actually does to like keep rule of the forest. It's just all Ame says is Sensei's gone and someone needs to fill his spot, and I'm that person.
Yeah, and I also like that I like that we don't know, because he also emphasizes that like Sensei doesn't like to meet with humans, and that kind of like, you know, we're all humans observing this movie, so it makes sense that we're kind of just like like you said, I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, and he's like, but he'll probably make an exception for my mother. And so, and then we get a little peek of him running around, and but our
it up.
But the time is up, so that be it for Wolf Children. Come back for Wolf Children 2, where Ame and Yuki fight like a kaiju.
She got her college education. He got his survival instincts. Who will win?
Bureaucracy. We're putting this highway in, Ame. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, we have 3 more movies left in the winter anime movies. And coming up next is Whisper of the Heart.
For the guest.
Yeah,
right?
with J2. So that would be fun. I don't know what.
There's no naked samurai people in it again.
There's what?
Isn't that the first Christmas movie that we forced them to watch?
Oh, yes.
yes.
I'm like, there's what in this movie? I'm like,
I said, I hope there's none. This time.
I just heard naked samurai people. And I'm like, what? What are we talking about? I don't. Blood Beat, right? Is that
Blood Beat?
Man, on paper, it looked good.
It looked entertaining.
Yes. And then we're like, all right, this was a thing. But anyway, Whispers of the Heart. I don't know what this is about.
It might be cat people.
Oh, keeping with the furries.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, so that'll be fun. And before Hop just puts a quilt over herself and goes to bed.
I made this too big. Look at the back; it's all yarn.
But yeah, we'll have J2, and yeah, with that, we're gonna say adieu. J2, adieu. So anyway, y'all have a good night. I don't know if you guys want to recommend this to somebody. Cool. It's late and I'm tired and I forget the list of people we say. So anyway, y'all have a good night. And better tomorrow. Or if you listen to this in the middle of the day, don't go to sleep while driving. Doodles.